Today, we're diving into a legend that has captivated us for centuries, the Great Library of Alexandria. The question that haunts us is, what did we actually lose when this incredible collection of knowledge just disappeared?
You've probably heard the story, right? This romantic idea of a single, massive fire wiping out all the wisdom of the ancient world. It's an incredible story, but how much of it is actually true?
Okay, so first, let's just try to wrap our heads around the scale of this place. The Library of Alexandria wasn't just, a building with some scrolls. It was a dream, an absolutely massive ambition to gather everything humans had ever learned, all under one roof.
It was founded way back in the 3rd century BCE by the Ptolemaic dynasty in Egypt. And it wasn't just a library. It was part of a bigger research center called the Mausoleum. Think of it like a home of the muses. And their goal? Well, it sounds simple, but it was just impossibly huge. Get a copy of every single scroll in the known world.
And let me tell you, they were not messing around. At its peak, estimates say it held something like 700,000 papyrus scrolls. And get this for an acquisitions policy. The kings ordered that any ship that docked in the harbor had to be searched. If they found any books, they'd be seized, taken to the library to be copied, and then they'd give the copy back, not the original. Can you imagine?
So what was actually on all these scrolls? Well, pretty much everything you can think of. You have the philosophy of Plato and Aristotle, Euclid's geometry, the physics of Archimedes, the whole shebang. But it wasn't just science. It was also poetry from Sappho and the complete plays of guys like Aeschylus and Sophocles, who, by the way, wrote over 200 plays combined. It was literally a snapshot of the entire mind of the ancient world. And you have to understand, this wasn't some dusty warehouse. No way. This was a buzzing, vibrant hub of research. Eratosthenes figured out the circumference of the entire planet with shocking accuracy while working there. Callimachus basically invented the library catalog. See, this was a place where knowledge wasn't just being stored, it was actively being made.
All right, so if this place was so incredible, how did it all just vanish? The story we all know points to one big dramatic fire. But the real story, well, it's a lot more complicated. And honestly, it might be even more tragic.
Yeah, there wasn't just one single event. It was more like a death by 1,000 cuts, spread out over hundreds of years. It really started with political drama, with purges that forced scholars to flee. Then, sure, there was a fire in 48 BCE when Julius Caesar was in town, but that was a warehouse on the docks full of scrolls, not the main library itself. A big deal for sure, but not the whole story. Later on, you had more conflict, religious decrees that led to the destruction of a daughter library. So the library didn't really burn down in one go. It just faded away.
So that brings us to the real heart of the matter. If it was a slow decline, not a single explosion of flame, then what did we actually lose forever? And maybe more